Well, hello, it's Miss Gina, and it's Sunday story time. You're at Gina's Planet. Gonna lay this behind me. I'm not in my usual setting. I thought we might read Harold and the Purple Crayon. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Purple Crayon, my favorite. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. Maybe that's a good idea. Literally up the street, there is a cow loose. I'm not making this up. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. You got that right. You can't have a moonlight walk without a moon. And he needed something to walk on. So he's making it. There's his moon. There's him something to walk on. He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost. Good plan, Harold. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. He took his purple crayon with him. Never know when you might need a big purple crayon. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. Pages are trying to stick. We've had some cold weather and some cold air in the south. It was 36 this morning when I got up. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. One tree. Can you have a forest with one tree? It's not really a forest. It turned out to be an apple tree. Look at all those apples, purple apples that Harold drew. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. You think they'll ever turn red? Right now they're purple. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. There's the dragon taking shape. There he is. He's got scary, sharp teeth, pointy, big teeth. There's little Harold. There's the moon. And there's the apple tree in the forest. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. His hand with the purple crayon shook. I don't even have a purple crayon. He's backing out of there. Suddenly he realized what was happening. But by then Harold was over his head in an ocean. Oh no, it's an ocean. A squiggly ocean. He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He drew a boat. And he's getting in. That's smart. We need a boat. Sorry, my pages are stuck. He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. He's got a real sail now. He drew the sail of his little boat. It's a sailboat. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. There's his little anchor, and there's his beach. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. There's his picnic lunch. Harold's hungry now. There was nothing but pie. Yum! But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of his favorite pies. Yum! Looks delicious. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. So there's the porcupine and there's the moose. They're going to eat the leftover pie. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If we went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. So see how high he went? He went really high up. Looks like he's almost tall as the moon. He was tired and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. You think he'll be able to see it? It's starting to get kind of dark here. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped. Oh no. Ah! And there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Oh no, he's going head first. What will Harold do? What do you think he'll do? But luckily, he kept his wits about him and his purple crayon. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. Here comes his balloon. He's got it. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. Not even a house. There's nothing up there but him and a balloon, hot air balloon it looks like, and the moon. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. So he drew a house. And there's his balloon. He landed in the front yard. That was clever. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He's trying to figure out where it should be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. Look at all the windows. He's still drawing windows. don't think he lives in a big building full of windows. I think he lives in a house with his window. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Look at all those windows. Oh my goodness. I hope I don't have to wash the windows. That's a lot of windows, Harold. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He's still drawing windows. He's still looking for his window. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. Go that way, Harold. He's already going that way. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then suddenly Harold remembered. Harold remembered something. What do you think he remembered? He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. So he put the window around the moon. That must be his window. Well, my pages are stuck. I have a new book. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it, and he drew up the covers. He literally drew them up. Whoop. There he's drawing his bed. You ever draw your bed and then get in it? Me either. Got one more page. The purple crayon dropped on the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. And that's the end. It's getting kind of cold. Next time, I'll read Finding Muchness, How to Add More Life to Life. And it's by Yobi Yamada, illustrated by Charles Santoso. And it's recommended for ages 99 and younger. I think that'll be a good book. We'll see. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time. And I hope they've caught that cow. How now, cow? Get back in the field. All right. Remember to read more in 2024 and grow your brain. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.